Gareth Steenson leading out Exeter, and a couple of sides in the tunnel now with very different European outlooks this lunchtime. Chiefs with all the pressure on their shoulders. A bonus point victory would put them right in the qualification mix, and then they'd have to wait and see if 19 points is good enough. For Glasgow, altogether different. They've lost 5 from 5 in this brutally tough pool. And whilst they were below strength last week, Andy, they were dismantled by Leinster in Dublin.
Yeah, they will not want to finish this whole campaign without one victory. The stage is set, the pitch, artificial pitch here at Scotstoun's been cleared. Beautiful surface, great overhead conditions, and you've got one team that really want to play in Glasgow. It'll be interesting to see how Exeter want to play. Is it tight? Is it wide? Is the bonus point coming to their feelings early on? You'll know.
Well, last week, superb against Montpellier at Sandy Park, the Chiefs' biggest European top-flight victory. Can they back it up today with Romain Poit, the man on the whistle? His first trip here for 4 years. He was here the last time the Chiefs were up here. So big games required from big men, the likes of Dave Ewers and Tommy Seymour for Glasgow, for whom today, frankly, is all about pride, putting in a performance for their fans and heading into the Six Nations with some confidence. Only once have Glasgow lost all 6 pool games, 13 long years ago. And this campaign's so much at odds with their outstanding domestic challenge. Top of Conference A, unbeaten here. And they will want to get on the board in Europe as we're underway. Nick White seeking it out, and here's Cowan Dickey, who played so well last week.
Inside, back.
Stiff challenge against Montpellier, that huge Montpellier pack, which Exeter managed to subdue. And the Chiefs will look to be doing a similar sort of job, potentially, on the Glasgow pack, which by common consent just might be a little bit lightweight, but goodness me, the back line can crackle.
Just saw there that the Chiefs were prepared to go through 3 phases. They weren't getting a better angle for the kick because they came right back to where they'd been. They want to tire this forward pack out and also keep the ball more. They don't want the Warriors to have the ball with the electric pace they've got, so the Chiefs will go through as many phases as they can today.
Horn for Russell, a little bit of space on that short side. Russell drawing in Woodburn. Oh, that's brilliant. Horn and Hogg. What about that? Stunning.
Well, the Exeter Chiefs didn't know what they were going to expect of here in Scotland. That is just showing them, because that is Glasgow Warriors rugby to a T. An electric back line that just know instinctively what players are going to do. And Finn Russell came back down the blind and said, look at the numbers. Exeter did not mark up well. And Finn Russell, George Hort on a brilliant angle inside. And where does Stuart Hogg come from on that angle? What a try and what a start for Glasgow Warriors.
As you said, the support play of Horn, the cheating line that he runs from the breakdown, knowing there's half the chance of a break. And if they break, he'll be the supporting player back on the inside. Hogg doing exactly the same, knowing if you can get on the shoulder, you can take out that last defender. Brilliant start from the Warriors.
And the conversion has been a successful one, so 7 points to the good after just 2 minutes. And Stuart Hogg, who is making his first appearance in 3 months today, we understand he's been an absolute menace in training, Andy. He's been itching for it.
Well, as a Glasgow Warriors fan, I'm delighted to see him play. As a Scottish rugby fan, I just hope he gets through it with what's coming up in the next few weeks.
Well, a blistering start from the home team. Driven on this time by Matt Fagerson, made his first European start last week, but a penalty here to the Chiefs.
2 on his feet first.
Yeah, Cowan Dickey got in there.
Tactically good from the Chiefs, though, wasn't it? The kickoff was contestable, allowed Woodburn to put pressure on, then came in the tackling, and then as Warriors go for the extra phase, just that ability over the ball that this Exeter team have, particularly with the likes of Luke Cowan Dickey.
Well, what Exeter Chiefs have just done going to the corner has told you exactly the mindset. They're looking to score tries, because you just conceded a try. You want to get 3 points on the board, you go for the kick at goal. They've gone for the try, they want to get the bonus point.
Open it, Black.
See
Stay there.
Glasgow giving Exeter the front of the line, trying to will them to throw it there to make it an easier place to defend. You don't want to be defending from the middle or the back.
A real arm wrestle, which has been won by Armand.
Stay back, back, back. Stay black, stay.
Unable to set up for the drive though, so here goes Cowan Dickey. Driving hard into Jamie Batty. Witten into the centres this week in the absence of Sam Hill, was on the wing a week ago. Thunderous collisions in midfield. White feeding it onwards. Slade.
Stay there, stay.
Here's Williams. Held up well by Haranu Kanuka. Just stemming the flow a little bit, but Chiefs very happy from this position on the field to go through the phases, patient play, and seek out those holes. Johnny Hill, the latest. Lease clattering forwards, but driven backwards.
Stay there, black, black, stay.
Tactically all about not putting players into the breakdown for Glasgow and having big collisions in midfield. At the moment, they're edging this battle, but the speed of ball that Nick White's getting will challenge them in that area.
Thunderous hit from Harley on Ewers a moment ago.
Back.
Still the ball in Exeter hands. And it's with Sam Simmons, who may well end up wearing 8 for England across the next couple of months, with Vunipola and Hughes on the sidelines injured. White deciding to put a bit of width on it now. Steenson looking for Slade. Well tackled in the midfield by Russell. It's been knocked forwards. Glasgow have the ball. Terrific defensive effort and a wonderful clearance too.
That was great defensive set there by Glasgow. They'll be really pleased in that, because there's not many better teams in Europe when they're in the 22 in that red zone. They don't come away with anything. Henry Slade came from the right there to the left, and he tried to get the extra man. Good defence from Finn Russell. Alex Dunbar, good effort from all of them. They're across the field. That was good defence.
Yeah, really good defence, but it shows the patience that Exeter have. 14 phases before they allowed that to go out to the back line. They're back on the front foot again now.
Free kick awarded, taken by Ewers. A try here in defeat.
Bad injury here.
Some 4.5 years ago. Quick handling from the Chiefs, and Witten is away. Dolman is there. Turner outside him. Woodburn inside him. 10 metres out. Simmons, that explosive running from a standing start.
Back, back, black.
Slade ships it on quickly for Cowan Dickey. That's a powerful surge. Quick ball here is interesting for Exeter. Steenson for Armand. Ewers again. And we are as you were.
Well, at the moment, Warriors playing with just 14 men defending. It's Turner who's down in backfield, but they get the turnover.
Terrific work, and Adam Ash makes important ground. Russell, good old-fashioned spiral over the head of Dolman. Good chase from Hogg and Seymour.
Stay big.
Russell again.
Away, black. Stay there. Stay.
Steenson swivels through the tackle. That was nice. Woodburn's got a nice line here between the two defenders. Gets it away to Witten. Was that forwards? Witten pinning his ears back. Brilliantly tackled by Seymour. Last-ditch effort. White pops it up for Dolman. Crowd unhappy from the potential forward pass that allowed Witten to free himself up down that flank.
I think they felt Witten held onto the ball on the floor too long. Competition from the Warriors, but Chiefs has got a lot of space on this right-hand side now.
And huge numbers queuing up to the right. Steenson for Slade. Turner looking to go around the outside of Sato. No way through. And the pass is loose. And the knock-on from Glasgow.
It's been a desperate start to the game, isn't it? Breathless for 7, almost 8 minutes. There's a serious injury to George Turner, but this is where Ian Witten got very close. Good defence coming back here by Tommy Seymour. George Horton is back there. This is where you can see good effort from Tommy Seymour and George Horton, but this is after multi-phases of turnovers, of playing advantage, and
Change for the Glasgow Warriors coming off.
That's what the crowd were a bit concerned about.
Well, you can see why.
For his first appearance in Scotland, number 16.
Oh, look at George Turner there, just gets hit by his own player there, I think on his leg. I think Matt Smith it is that just catches him.
It's the one concern about surfaces like this that the players have, that just your studs can stick in it a little bit more than it would on grass, and when a player comes in like that, you don't want your legs sticking in your studs sticking in the grass.
Yeah, that is extremely unfortunate for George Turner. Grant Stewart onto the field at hooker for the Warriors. Made his debut last week. He's only 22.
Stability
But
and straight pushing.
you're right about the surface, Ben. I mean, the Chiefs traditionally are very cautious on artificial surfaces. Jack Noel often doesn't play on them very often. Cowan Dickey doesn't either.
Funnily enough, one of the things that some people say is the scrummaging actually is even harder on this surface because the traction's better. So if you've got a good scrum as a scrum coach, you quite like playing on a surface like this.
Coach!
Chiefs in prime territory here.
Set!
7 metres out. Solidity and then the drive. Very effective work here from the Exeter 8. Scrambled possession though, and Ewers is being driven back. Roman quite very happy to let that play out.
That's a maul!
Turner's done well to go to ground. Simmons swallowed up early. Matt Smith with the tackle. Here's Witten again, slipping through a couple of tackles and up to the 5 metre line. Johnny Hill for Armands, who's gathering, I was going to say men and ball, and then just as he got free, it's gone forwards from Armands. And these errors in the red zone are costing them at the moment. Credit to the resilience of the Glasgow defence.
Yeah, it is very resilient. It's been very good. It's been aggressive. It's been cohesive. There's been good communication. But at some point, Ali, that's going to take us out in them because they've been defending almost, apart from when Stuart Hogg scored the try, it's been solidly in the 22 that they've been defending. And it's been mistakes like that that have just given them a bit of a respite. But they've been having to work exceptionally hard in this first 9.5 minutes.
There's some claret flowing on a couple of fronts here. Johnny Gray receiving some treatment. Adam Ash as well, I think, needing to be patched up. Ben.
Well, over in the other game, Leinster against Montpellier. Leinster away from home, but they're continuing their perfect record. They're on track for their perfect record. Brilliant bit of interplay. And it's Ross Byrne who gets on the end of this. Little break. Obvious overlap on the outside. Excellent pass from the base. And a easy running in the corner, taking out the last defender.
And he's replaced by number 20, Chris Massaro.
Here's the table as it stands then in Pool 3. Leinster, as we know, already qualified, but if results stayed as they are, it would be just Leinster who'd head on through.
Yeah, and get the line on you. I want
win on the board. We reckon
look at this.
you might have a sniff with 18 points, but more than likely 19 is going to be
one free kick, I remind you.
The number you need to get to. Cowan Dickey for Armand. Pizarro is on the field for Ash for Glasgow at the moment as the Chiefs work it into the wide channels, and Dolman.
Back.
Slade. Witten. Ben Moon. Cut down by Smith. Inside the 22. Simmons. Been kept on a very short leash today.
Ball! No, ball available.
Steenson attacking the gain line. Armands clawed down by Jamie Batty. Nice little pick up here from Witten on the burst. Simmons is there too. Ball's loose again.
Backwards.
Not taking care of possession in that 22. Exeter, and Glasgow as a result. Oh, hello, there's a knock-on from Glasgow in the first instance.
Four black knock-on.
And that's Rob Harley.
Yeah, more mistakes from Exeter Chiefs. I mean, absolutely dominant territory and possession here in in the 22 for Glasgow, who are having to defend very, very hard.
Just the back.
They're doing it well, but you think if Exeter can cut them, so let's see this. That's forward there from Rob Harley, but how did that come to there? There must have been a knock on ahead of that.
Yeah, and anyway, number 5 was in offside, not in intentional position.
Simmons was stripped in the first instance by Smith.
Yeah, I think it was stripped actually, so that was fair enough actually, so the right call. And yet another scrum in the 22.
Happy to go.
Exeter with all the ball at the moment. 83% of the possession. Nothing to show for it on the scoreboard though. Ben Moon took a bit of a hammering
Knock
in
on
that
the ground
contact.
and offside position by 5, not
Seems to be
intentional.
restored.
Scrum.
And again, the Chiefs with a prime attacking platform.
Crutch!
Woodburn hugging the
Bind!
blindside touchline.
Set!
Dolman in behind the midfield. Poised, but a scrum penalty to Glasgow.
You know, bar the time that Stuart Hogg went in the 22 to score the try, Glasgow have been defending this whole 11 minutes pretty much in their own 22. This is the respite they need. Chance to clear the lines for Finn Russell, get a line out and get their game going. And you'll probably see the contrast in styles in this next phase. You'll see the wide play that Glasgow are going to do. And I think we'll see this throughout the whole game.
Big scrum, wasn't it? Because the last scrum down on their own line, they'd looked a little bit under pressure. It was a bit of miscontrol from Sam Simmons that allowed that ball to skew out. No such danger there. Big effort from the front 5.
There's Grant Stewart having replaced George Turner. The line-out ball is not entirely clean, but it is still in Glasgow hands. And it's there for Johnny Gray. Good gains being made in those tight exchanges, but Johnny Hill has ripped it for Exeter. Nick White is being thrown around like a rag doll by Rob Harley.
Ollie Woodburn just positioning himself here for the kick chase.
Well taken by Russell. Just a couple of extra metres on that kick that did for Woodburn's chase. That's well taken by Dolman. I'm not entirely sure what that was from Steenson. Probably not what he had planned. And an opportunity here for Dunbar.
It's another injury
Head injury.
for the Warriors.
Time
Dunbar
off.
is down after his carry.
Well, he's only just come back from a knee injury. Alex Dunbar spent the last 3 weeks out.
So Gregor Townsend in the Scottish nation now. I hope that he can get up from this because he's a key player for Glasgow, but Scotland the next couple of weeks. Let's see. Is it head hitting the ground possibly?
It looked like it, didn't it?
It didn't. Nothing really there at the moment.
Can you tell me where we are?
His forehead into the turf.
Yeah, possibly.
Artificial turf.
Where are we?
Anxious moments for Dave
Yes.
Rennie, who of course has already
RTA.
lost George Turner
HEA.
this afternoon.
12.
Rennie, the
12,
man who
12 black.
took the Chiefs in New Zealand to a couple of
16.
Super Rugby titles,
16.
very
For the
highly
line out,
rated.
I ask something. You have to stand in the middle. And
I met him at the start of the season, Ali, and you know when you meet somebody and you just think that the whole package, he does such an understanding of the game, the way that he wanted it to be played, but also the cultural aspect, the family aspect of it as well. I was just so impressed with his overall.
But make sure you're on the line.
Clermont Ospreys ongoing
more at the back.
from France right now.
Easy to
And
take
Saracens
down.
Saints
Smart is
today
the best
coming up
one.
at 3 o'clock on BT Sport 3 HD. And then a little later on, Benetton Rugby up against Bath from 5:15, also on BT Sport 3. 8 o'clock, Challenge Cup action, Stad against Edinburgh. same channel, and then tomorrow and Arica, a really significant game between these two. Wasps and Ulster from 3 o'clock BT Sport 2 and 4K UHD. Wasps really needing a bonus point win to secure their passage. And that won't even be a given. Let's have another look at this this first try that was scored ultimately by Stuart Hogg, made by the devilish running and handling skills of Finn Russell.
Yeah, it was incredible. That was 62 tackles ago, as Glasgow have done. All they've done since then is make tackles, but what a start, an electric start that was.
Obviously hugely disappointing for Glasgow. That looks like they're losing Dunbar here, but this is a prime opportunity for them to strike. They've had a big rest after that defensive set. They've got a load of fresh backs now, and they've got position where those backs' eyes will be lighting up.
So Dunbar coming off, and he's going to be replaced, or has been replaced already, by Peter Horn, hugely experienced character. Both Horn brothers on the field, and the ball fed in by George, the younger of the two. And Russell left that very late to give it to Hogg. Over the top for Seymour. Slipping through the tackle of Nick White, floored by Steenson, who's hurt himself in the process. Whipped away by Horn. Harley for Gray. He was being driven off the ball. Russell for Batty. Horn, nice quick ball for Russell, digs it through, clever. Very clever little kick, and finally Glasgow in the sort of area of the field that they want to be.
Yeah, they've got it in the 22 for the second time. I tell you what, you can see Exeter Chiefs are really scared about Glasgow's wide game, because they're flying up, their line speed and defence out wide. Ian Whitten, and they're pushing up. Ian Whitten and Henry Slade are really pushing up to stop that wide game. This is the set piece. Finn Russell to Stuart Hogg. Great thing, they're trying to get Stuart Hogg in the game in different parts of the field, not just the orthodox fullback, and they've got a good repertoire there. And we've just seen how devastating he can be when he gets the ball in open field.
But even that Finn Russell kick through there is made because he knows they're going to fly up on the outside. Glasgow had a one-man overlap, so the only way to stop it from Exeter's point of view is to close on the outside. So if he keeps dabbing those balls in behind them, putting the pressure on, he knows that Exeter are going to get frustrated with defending like that, and the game might open up a bit more.
Really clever player, and Glasgow, of course, hugely disappointed to be losing into Racing 92 next season. Allegedly £700,000 a year. You can just about scrape a living on that, I understand, Andy.
Yeah, just a bit.
Ewers securing it for Exeter. Glasgow spoiling very effectively at the moment. White hell of a job getting that back.
Use it!
Sato and Lockie Turner.
You are looking for the players.
Okay, so some
Number 9, looking for the players.
intentional blocking has been called out by Romain Poitz.
Yeah, you've got to be careful that as you're running back, you don't have a little look and change lanes, as they call it. You can see there, he was running one way, turned back and stopped. The danger is there. Players can get done by someone doing that. They lose track of where they are. Someone gets tipped in, who's going for the high ball, and they end up with a yellow card. So good spot from the referee. If Lockie Turner gets a little bit of a roundhouse kick for his troubles.
I think if George Horn hadn't been penalised, I think Lockie Turner would have been penalised for taking Sato in the air. So one penalty before the other.
Yeah, there were a whole heap of things that might have been picked up there, but the net result is that Glasgow's field position has been wiped out for the moment. Adam Ash is back with us. So Glasgow have got one of their injured parties back on the field, but George Turner and Alex Dunbar we won't be seeing again today. Johnny Hill, perfect delivery from White. Here's Simmons, this time afforded a little bit of a run-up. Steenson, Turner overrunning that, that's gone forwards. And Glasgow look to counter from within the 22.
Advantage over, you hold.
Woodburn. Shadowed by Horn and then enveloped by 3 black shirts. He's got a target on his back these days, Ollie Woodburn, such as his prowess on the finishing front. A couple of wonderful tries last week against Montpellier. And Romain Poit has taken issue with the Glasgow contest at the breakdown.
I tell you, Exeter Chiefs, you know, we know that if they're going to qualify to the knockout stage, they need to get a win, certainly, with a bonus point. If they keep playing like they are, giving turnovers, Ben, if some of these turnovers get to the likes of Stuart Hogg or Hugh Jones in acres of space, Glasgow will really take this home, so they've got to be really careful. I think they've got to up their game big time.
100%. It's just that accuracy, isn't it? They're creating a lot of opportunities. You can see that inside ball, but a lot of the passes are stopping the players on the ball. If you do that, all the space disappears. They just need a bit more accuracy. But also, what has impressed me is their ability to flip the switch when Glasgow do make a turnover. Obviously, they would have worked on that all week. Go from attack to defence immediately and don't give the Warriors an opportunity.
Line possession, allowing for this drive to be set.
Debut is just trying to stay hidden at the back there so that he doesn't give a route to the ball for any of those Warriors defenders. It's a good defensive operation from the Warriors, but it's still moving forward. Now the referee tells White to use it.
Slade. Steenson really struggling to get it into those wider channels, and excellent press defence from the Scotsman. And it's gone forwards from Exeter, and yet again they have stifled and stymied the Chiefs' attack.
They have, and that was outstanding maul defence, because that's what actually did them in the first game down at Sandy Park. And then when you've got that platform to defend from, you can really exert pressure like the Warriors backline did there and put them under all sorts of pressure. But that was a very good maul defence by the Warriors pack, who we've accused them of being sort of short of weight and a bit of lacking in firepower, but they've showed it so far in the first 20 minutes. They're going toe-to-toe with this Exeter pack at the moment.
Yeah, we wait you anyway.
Dolman, the unfortunate
Gone
one
black,
on that
first
occasion
pink
to
on the ground,
knock
and
it
second
forward.
one.
So Glasgow ball. Only lost 1 from 13 in the league. They've just been in outstanding form in Conference A of the Pro 14. But the European challenge is not quite measured up in the same way in this toughest of pools.
And they shouldn't have lost that. The one game they've lost, Ali, they were 7-0 up against Edinburgh, who went down to 40 men for 75 minutes, and they managed to lose it in the last few minutes, which caused a lot of consternation in the faithful here at Scotland, I will tell you.
And it goes from George Horn, first European start for the young number 9. And the trouble at the base for Glasgow here. It's been stolen by White, knocked on, so the advantage with the visiting team. Now an opening, it's Witten steaming through the middle. Ian Witten! Now, has he grounded it? I think he might not have done. Let's have a listen to Romain Poit.
D'accord. Okay. Oui. Simon, please, first question. Is it a try, yes or no? Not sure about the grounding by a ball carrier, 12 pink, please.
Man, try yes, no, and we'll look at the grounding.
Very clear. Try yes or no. Can we see the grounding?
Well, is the arm underneath the ball at the moment of contact with the ground?
I haven't seen it yet.
I saw a knock on.
No,
That's up.
that's no try to me.
So no try.
Roman,
Yes,
I
please.
have a decision.
Yeah.
The ball's held up.
Yep.
Held
No
up.
try. Yeah, scrum out, attack ball.
Brilliant defending. Absolutely first class.
Yeah, Glasgow got away with that because it was really shoddy play at the back of the scrum from Adam Ash to try and get the ball to George Horn, and then there was a missed tackle in there. So all the good defence they've had up to now in the first 20 minutes was almost undone by a mistake, so they've got away with that.
I think the problem came at the strike from the scrum, because initially the scrum held really well. They got very, very low, the Warriors, but it seemed like the ball didn't get to Adam Ash's hands quickly enough. And you could see Horn making that dart away, expecting Ash to pick up, and he was still scrabbling around trying to find it, and that's when the shunt came on from Exeter. So they need to get that channel ball better. But having been knowing that they were under pressure a little bit at the last scrum, might be a few twitchy Warriors fans here with the put in 5 metres from their own line for the Chiefs.
Bind!
Well, the pressure at the moment is pretty relentless. All the possession with the visiting team, with Rob Baxter's men who have it here. Simmons unable to gather it in. And it's been nicked by Johnny Gray. Roman Poit allowing that to continue all the way round. And might be able to debate the legalities of all of that, but regardless, it's here with Hogg.
Non-stop! Non-block!
What a kick that is. Trouble for Dolman. And a penalty for the kick chase.
Yeah, it was Roman Poit was screaming for I'm not sure who it was, what number it was.
Just here, just wonder whether Glasgow's back 5 there, step to the left, and that causes the initial shunt round. But Roman Poit, a couple of times, the Chiefs have found themselves with the scrum spinning very, very quickly, and Roman Poit seems happy for it to play on. They need to solve that themselves now, the Chiefs.
Oh, everybody's...
George Horn there was pulled up for being in front of Stuart Hogg
anyway.
when Stuart Hogg kicked it forward, and fair play to Roman Poit, he was screaming at 9 to stop, but George Horn clearly maybe couldn't have heard it. Unfortunately, instead of having good field possession, exerting more pressure, all Glasgow are now doing is having to defend yet another set piece in their own 22.
Only his fifth
You
start
start to run in front, you
for
have to
Glasgow.
stop when I call you.
For George Horn. And one of those selection conundrum this week, I imagine, Andy. There might just have been a phone call from Gregor Townsend to say, you know what, could you put Ali Price on the bench this week?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think if you look at this whole Glasgow back line, with Finn Russell starting, with Hoggy coming back after injury, Hugh Jones, you don't know what influence has been from Murrayfield and Gregor Townsend.
Over in Montpellier, as you'd expect, such a stellar team, they're coming back. It was 5-0. Leinster have scored a penalty to take it to 8-0, but Bismarck Duplessis at the back of this giant pack, striving more. They just roll their way to the line, and the experienced South African hooker goes over. The conversion was good. It's now 7 points to 8 to Leinster.
God, you don't often see a Leinster pack disintegrating like that, so that must have been some power and some setup there by Montpellier.
We have a look anyway. Three black. Turn back on.
Just a reminder of pool 3, as it is for now. Leinster with that advantage of theirs having been cut, but still comfortably on top of this pool. Great field position yet again for Exeter, and Roman Poit not happy with the delivery.
And I tell you who won't be happy, Rob Baxter won't be happy with just their accuracy in the 22. Normally Exeter are so strong in that, what we call the red zoning, coming away with points, whether that be 3, 5 or 7. So much of this game's been played here, yet they've got nothing to show from up to point.
Not dissimilar in some regards to Leicester's performance against Cass last week. They had quite a few opportunities in the 22 and found varying ways of finding themselves subsequently on the back foot. Chiefs squandering their chances. Horn looking to dig it out. Russell, ambition here from Glasgow. Hogg charged down by Slade.
You know what I mean?
I'm really pleased to see Glasgow try that. What they're doing, they're getting in the wide channels and have them held the defence to allow Stuart Hogg to run. The answer was no, so he booked the ball but got charged down. So it was good defence actually from Slade, as well as good intent from Glasgow.
Stewart picked up nicely by Gray. Fine surge from Matt Fagerson, youngster making his first European start last week. He's only 19, but that was a surge of some significance.
backwards.
Picked up this one by Steenson. Cowan-Dickey. Exeter having to rebuild all over again. Ash with the tackle. Slade for Witten and Woodburn taking the contact from Jones. Jones, the man who managed to get his arm underneath Ian Witten as he went over the try line. Steenson, Slade running into space. That was very nearly a fabulous offload, instead a knock on. And hacked away into touch. Let's have a word with Rob Baxter, the director of rugby at Exeter Chiefs. Rob, your take on the opening 24 minutes. An excellent try from Glasgow, which caught you out a little bit. We'll just pause for a moment here to see if anything develops through Ian Witten. Tell us about the chances that you've seen come and go inside the Glasgow 22, though.
Yeah, no, I'm okay about that. A game is 80 minutes. It takes a bit of winning. It doesn't just happen, and you've got to be prepared to build long periods of pressure, I think. Like last week was a perfect example. It's half-time, 7-3. It took us a long time to score any points, but we denied Montpellier points, and eventually the pressure tells. I mean, the key thing that's probably hurting us here at the minute is we've conceded a pretty soft try. One change of direction, and we've just not talked. We've not really got out of the blocks and been talking to each other and been right on form. We've conceded that soft points. But other than that, anyone who's watching this game, it's kind of all us attacking, and what we've got to make sure we don't do is kind of beat ourselves, is kind of look at a scoreboard that's not ticking over and start to worry too much. If it takes us a little while for points to come, that's okay. You can score points actually pretty quickly in the game. What we've got to do is keep continual pressure, and eventually that's what will count. And what I don't want to see us doing is starting to worry and starting to force an offloads or silly moments of pressure like we've seen a couple of times, because ultimately that's what breaks up your attacking patterns. I want to have continual pressure, really.
Rob, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
More pressure currently being exerted by Exeter, and this is Lockie Turner skipping inside the 22.
Had to go, that ball, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Johnny Hill. Rob Baxter convinced that the points will come if they're patient enough. Steenson again over the top to Woodburn, who's got an awful lot to do and not much space to do it in.
Well, if Rob Baxter's wanting continual pressure, he's got it, but they're still not managing to get across the Glasgow line. Again, good defence. I agree with Ben, it had to go out wide there. They should have had a try out their far side, but we saw Ollie Woodburn score some amazing tries last week. Good defence for Glasgow yet again to
Good
stop
defence there. We saw that massive space that Ollie Woodburn had to run into, but it was a bit of Mug's Gully from Tommy Seymour. He knew that the ball was going to come over the top, and he knew he had the pace to recover.
No hands!
He's got some power, Matt Fagerson, isn't he? Hogg urging that forwards. He was after a little bit more depth. Dolman juggling and then seeking out opportunities. Tackled by Harley. Cowan-Dickey. Well met. Glasgow have given nothing away in those tight exchanges. Steenson. Turner. Show of the ball. And then the pass has ended up with Russell. Horn. Excellent work on the ground by Smith to keep that alive. Hogg having a little crack, chancing his arm, looking for the bounce of the ball. Chasing through now. Trouble for Exeter. Steenson drops on it. Red lights blinking for the Chiefs there for a moment. The magic of Hogg, the ambition of the fullback.
Back! Use it!
White and safety and relief.
Yeah, well, it was so close with... Well, there's the man who's on the ball now, but he started with this intercept when it looked pretty dangerous for Exeter Chiefs, but Finn Russell, he's in that channel a lot and he reads that very well. This was the end, again, ball in hand with Stuart Hogg. He sees there's a gap and this rugby ball can bounce anywhere. It almost ends up with a try here. Kick through. If that goes straight through, Stuart Hogg wins that foot race and that's a try. But as it doesn't, George Horn kicks it on. And then, to be fair, it was some good defence by Steenson to get back, because that could easily have been Glasgow Warriors' second try.
Story of the game, though, isn't it? It's near enough 80% of the game has been played down in the Warriors' half, and yet just that opportunity, that one turnover, and this Glasgow team can rip you apart. Exeter managed to just save themselves at the death there, but you cannot switch off for a minute with this Warriors team.
Well, it's rope-a-dope tactics at the moment from Glasgow. They are absorbing a huge amount of pressure and then taking their chances. You see Ryan Wilson there under the bobble hat. He's unavailable at the moment. One of those on the injury list, along with the likes of Fraser Brown and Xander Ferguson, Tim Swinson.
Callum Gibbons is the one you haven't mentioned, that he's been outstanding and actually was brought in for this period of the season when international players are away.
Karen Dickey on the charge. Williams carrying hard, carrying well. One of those Exeter keen to nail down with a new contract. We've got a man down.
Another nasty head injury, I'm afraid, Ali.
Yeah,
I think it was the collision with Karen Dickey, wasn't it?
I think it's Matt Smith.
I expect the blood. Yeah. Kiss blood, number 7, black.
Yeah.
Big blood injury. Yeah, knock on the ground. Didn't see it,
so we can see it here. That's his left, his left knee, straight on it. And you can see it, yeah. You just hope that's a clean wound, just blood. Yeah, exactly.
Certainly his reaction, it seemed like he had all his faculties. I know they will check him out anyway, because a big collision like that, the doctors will, but certainly he wasn't staggering around as though he'd been impaired.
Some collateral damage this afternoon for the Glasgow Warriors. Chris Fusaro back onto the pitch for a second time as the back rowers are patched up.
Matt Smith's had a good 30 minutes though. Him and Matt Ferguson, they've been everywhere. They've been causing lots of turnovers and getting in their face, really aggressive. Two young kids with a real big future, I think.
Smith just 21. With a fine pedigree as well. His sister Hannah plays international rugby for Scotland. Great-grandfather was a footballer for Rangers, we understand. So it's in the blood.
Set up.
But at the moment, blood the problem.
Let's go, please. 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's go back. Watch, Stewart. Let's go, big man. 3 seconds.
Crutch! Point! Set!
Pretty solid from Glasgow. A little bit of a juggle from Adam Ash at the base. Horn for Gray.
Back!
Horn to Horn. And Peter Horn has found space in behind Lockie Turner. Wonderful kick.
Yeah, the scrum is there's a lot of pressure coming through, but look here, George Horn, a bit like the last time, he's going away. Adam Ash is having to pick that ball up from the second row, and it's always going to cause problems there. As Ben said earlier, you have to get the strike back, and only then can you start thinking about what to do once the ball is at the number 8's feet. When you go too early, mistakes can happen.
Pinpoint accuracy from the Horn kick, but allowing pressure to be heaped on this Exeter line-out now. And Harley has spoilt very effectively. Great disruption. This is Fusaro. Horn, Batty, directly into Ewers. First bit of meaningful possession, a handful of metres out for the home team. Gray.
Hands out! 2! Away!
Taking the Chiefs on their own game here, trying to narrow that defensive line. to open up some space for their electric backs, or if Exeter don't mark it, they'll go route one.
Closing in, slowly but surely. Horn again. Clobbered.
Release now! No!
Still the impetus with Glasgow, though. Ewers looking to slow it up and win turnover ball. Still Glasgow possession.
That's all they were doing. They were trying to create that just a bit of space that they can get Hugh Jones or Seymour or Hogg or Russell onto the ball. But to be fair, Exeter's defence was good. George Horn was he's good round the fringes. Watch this. The gate was fairly brutally closed there as he went for it.
They are not tackling away from the breakdown. Okay.
Like an Exeter.
Sorry if we miss it.
Doesn't fall for the little show. Dave Ewers in over the ball, trying to slow it down, created the opportunity.
Okay, please, guys.
We were doing the pre-match. We were standing right next to the Exeter Chief forwards. They're massive, aren't they? I mean, Ewers and Armand, huge guys there. I mean, Johnny Hill, you know, he's a tall lad. There's a lot of him, but nothing when he's standing next to these guys.
Long mountains. You're going to need all that now. Scrum on their own line.
Let's go, Chiefs!
Great options available to Glasgow from here as well.
It's exactly what Andy was talking about before. The target will be on this shunt as the ball comes in to try and disrupt the strike of the hooker, which means the ball doesn't get back to number 8.
And look at the setup, Ben. You've got Finn Russell, Stuart Hogg and Sarto in a straight line. Nobody to the left of them. All 6 backs are ready to attack right.
Horn for Russell. Somehow keeps it alive. Horn again. Hogg. Glasgow backpedaling at the moment. Sarto driven into touch. And the flag is raised.
I mean, it was a set play. Obviously, it didn't go through. It didn't go right because the set play wasn't for Finn Russell to take it up. This is where sometimes they almost try too much. You know, there's a lot of impossible passes trying to be made there. Instead of just recycling it, start again, and then try and get your platform to get your fast ones running again. So maybe we're just trying to play too much rugby.
Excellent take from Johnny Hill, and his legs are taken from under him, so the penalty goes to Exeter.
Yeah, it'll be a disappointing penalty for Glasgow to concede, because all Exeter we're going to do, we'll probably box kick that from White and maybe have a line out on the 22 as it is now. Steenson can take his time, get much further out the side, the 22, and have the throw into the line out.
Stay. Johnny, back. 5 men.
5 minutes to the break. Glasgow with that score from Stuart Hogg after only 2 minutes of the game. Since then, so much in the way of absorption. That didn't look terribly straight from Cowan Dickey. He's been allowed to get away with it. Up it goes from White. Seymour finding Hogg. Good chase from Whitten.
Away, Black, away, 3.
In comes White. Steenson.
Great effort from Hogg. Double tackle.
Russell again. Just about in the sunlight.
Simon, did you have something about 10 black? With the delay screen, Simon?
Yeah.
Hogg.
I'll look now.
Again, looking for the chip over the top. He hasn't quite managed to gather it in. Ewers, it was who got there first. We're going to have another little look in a moment or two on a challenge on Russell, which may have been a tad late. And Slade opts for the sanctity of the touchline.
Well, let's see what happened here. Finn Russell kicks it down there. Is there any change?
I think there is, because he'd already jumped in that direction.
Yeah.
I think he knew he was staying in that zone, but he was already heading that way.
No foul play.
Thank you, Simon.
There's the ruling from Simon McDowell, our TMO.
Let's go, Black, please.
There's some men looking for a breather. They'll get one soon enough. An important few minutes here.
Not straight,
Over the top,
but
into the arms of Cowan Dickey, picked up by Simmons. Steenson, Witten. Takes the contact.
Leave it!
Cowan Dickey. Once again, Exeter into their phase play. Steenson again to the line. Dolman changes direction.
Away one!
Shirts there in good numbers always. Ewers to Hill, caught behind the gain line. Cowan Dickey again. Armand using the fend. Slade. White. Steenson. Woodburn. Now then, Dolman. Checked it. Moon was there. Still they press. White has got sucked into the ruck. Simmons arrives to help out with the clear out. Dolman feeding it back. Simmons ready to have another crack at it from close range. So many times in this match they have been in this position. They've come up with nothing so far. This time it looks a little more meaningful. They're that much closer to the try line. Taken on again, Simmons. And the try. Exeter back in business. Sam Simmons back on the score sheet.
That was the ruthless Exeter Chiefs that we're used to seeing. They just go phase by phase, just inching over there, and then the power game was ultimately going to tell. But for Glasgow be disappointed, that whole phase started from their own line now, and it was an overthrow from Greg Stewart, which unfortunately led to Exeter getting the possession, which ended up with them getting that try. But you have to say, over the course of the 39 minutes, Exeter deserved to be on level if this conversion goes over.
I just think, we pointed out the back row before the game. In that series of phases, Armand got a bit closer, then Ewers, then Simmons goes over, Luke Cowan Dickey as well. Every single player won the collision. Even if it was just a few inches, that momentum suddenly told Simmons goes over.
Full complement for Exeter. Parity on the scoreboard, 7 apiece. And after all that possession, finally some points for Rob Baxter's team. One last play of the half with the clock in the red. Claimed by Mitch Lees.
Back, black, back, 3.
Now Nick White
Time off, yes.
might just make the decision here to get everybody into the dressing room. Steenson will make the call. And a fascinating half of rugby draws to a close. Tight as a drum. Hogg for Glasgow in the second minute, and Simmons right at the end of a half in which they had dominated territory and possession. But the Glasgow defence, huge this afternoon. 7-all at Scotstoun.
Glasgow Warriors would like to thank our community partner SP Energy Networks for keeping the power flowing for us and their other 3.5 million customers.
Throughout this national crisis, their dedicated teams are keeping you connected and safe.
They're powering our frontline services, our hospitals and our amazing NHS so they can continue to do what they do best, protect us and save lives.
Your electricity network allows you to stay connected to work, talk to your friends and family and enjoy streaming your favourite box sets.
That's why SP Energy Network's expert engineers are working throughout your communities to keep the power flowing through this national emergency. If you see them out and about, it's because the work they're doing is critical.
And if your power does go up, call 105. Their teams are still available 24/7 to help you. Thank you SP Energy Networks. If you can, please stay home and stay safe.
As we face uncertain times, we are certain of this. We are a country that looks out for each other. Older people, those at risk, the self-isolating. They're our family, our friends, our neighbours, the folk that live upstairs. Shopping, prescriptions, taking out bins. Lending a hand means everyone wins. Even a wee phone for a natter lets people know they matter. Through a million acts of kindness, we'll show that we are Scotland. If you are fit and well, find out how to help safely at readyscotland.org.
Well, there's an almighty scrap here at Scotstoun, as there will be in Boston tonight for UFC 220. Stipe Miocic defends his heavyweight title against Francis Ngannou. Plus, Daniel Cormier fights Volkan Ozdemir for the light heavyweight title. That is on BT Sport 2 at 1 o'clock in the morning. We are in Glasgow, the Warriors against the Chiefs. Ali can take us through the second half.
Well, 7 points apiece. And the big question, I guess, is just how much more do Glasgow have to give defensively. 118 tackles already, and you can be fairly sure that the Chiefs will ask them to double that. They broke Montpellier in the second half, 5 tries after the break, 3 of them in the last 20. But Exeter's European challenge rests on the next 40 minutes. Bit of a scramble from the restart, taken in. And Horn providing Adamash with the chance to crash it up. And Russell.
Advantage, no con.
Ends up with Woodburn. Dolman. Nice little break from Dolman towards the 10-metre line. Steenson. Cowan-Dickey, who was carried very hard today, just as he did last week against Montpellier. He's had an excellent European challenge. Woodburn, Slade, slipping through and inside the 22.
Back, Black, back.
Lees. Exeter again in a familiar position. Some 10 metres out. Nick White lost his footing. Chance for Fusaro to get in over the top of the ball. Oh, what work he has done. What fabulous work he has done.
Great defensive effort there again by Chris Fusaro. Really good at getting over it. Sometimes it's just like that. You need a bit of a, a slip from the ball carrier, and once that happens, the support lines are not in the right place. This is where Henry Slade got in behind here. Tommy Seymour did a good shepherding role there, and then this is where he just went through the phases. He drops down here and you think there's nobody there, so Fusaro was able to get in the ball immediately, and once you're in that position, he is not getting knocked off.
Olympic-like Fusaro, and a chance now for Glasgow to build on halfway. Seymour off his wing.
Look on advantage.
Forwards this time from the Warriors, so Chiefs will regain possession. I guess as well, Ben, it's worth exploring the various different permutations here. If Exeter go away from here empty-handed, which is entirely possible, it does open up the possibility of 1 or 2 other teams being able to profit. 18 might be enough, for instance, for a Bath, a Saracens,
I'd rather not
a
look at the
Toulon.
permutations, because I'm starting to glaze over already. It's just still so wide open. I mean, yes, if Exeter get nothing from this game, then actually Montpellier have got 2 tries over at the Altrad Stadium already. If they get another 2, they would then leapfrog Exeter. Actually, maybe they'd go level with Exeter, but Exeter might have a better points difference. See, even this group, you can't decide.
So much in the mix. With the advantage here from the scrum. Steenson attacking the short side with Woodburn. Good defensive work from Seymour. And back for the penalty.
So the scrums in the first half where you could say that Exeter had the upper hand, but there was no... In fact, Glasgow actually got one of the scrum penalties in the first half, but that one there, it's just like Exeter just ratcheted up a few levels and exerted real pressure to concede the penalty.
Back inside that 22 and back threatening again. They have spent so much of this match for not a huge amount of reward.
Open it, open it, open it.
Dickey picks out Armand, and Simmons is there waiting to launch himself or launch Woodburn. And it was kept alive very well, but Dickey's knocked it on. And away come Glasgow again. From their try line, Sato for Hogg in a little bit of space. Turner's after him. Tackle is a good one, but great support running, and that challenge might be all right.
I think it's all right. I think he wraps his arm. It's just literally the speed that both of them are travelling.
Crowd took exception to it. And Nick White will become the pantomime villain for the rest of the match. You can be sure of that. Steenson looking for territory. Finding Sato, and back we go.
On parle pas tous en même temps, les gars. No, no, no. It's time off.
It's whether it's high or not. That's the
Simon.
The question. Does the arm
Can we
wrap
have a
over the
look
top
about
of
the
the shoulder?
tackle, please?
Yes, from
It's not every day this is a problem for Nick White.
For me, that's okay.
It's definitely not high. It's whether his arms are
Right
engaged.
arm is wrapped. The right arm is on the ball. It's the way he falls that dislodges it. There's nothing in that.
I think you're right, Ben. I mean, the first contact is actually the ball, which is in Hugh Jones's chest.
His arm's low.
Yeah.
You're right about the speed as well, because they were both going at a fair old lick.
Yeah.
And the collision therefore looked that much more dramatic.
When it was live right in front of us here, I thought it was, but in slow motion, and when you look at different angles, it's not high. And I think there's an effort for both arms to be engaged. You start a tackle with the arm, and that's fine. So.
Okay, Roman, that's all the angles.
Yes, please. It's like shoulder to shoulder, Simon. Are you happy with that? And he tried to catch the players.
Yes.
That's shoulder with shoulder. For me, nothing wrong.
Yes, I agree, Roman.
Okay, we have a scrum for black.
I think that's the right conclusion. The TMO Simon McDowell and Roman Poit shoulder to shoulder, as it was.
Just we stay quiet with the comms.
It was the speed. It was the speed that both players in attack and defence were running.
Just to check
caused it to be sort of a reaction, and obviously the crowd here in front of us are all Glasgow fans, and but it was brilliant counter-attack play from Glasgow, and this is what the Chiefs have got to be very wary of. But look at the support lines for all the black shirts coming inside, and you know it was a great tackle, as it's been proved, because it stopped maybe another try for Glasgow.
It's the excitement of Glasgow when they get an opportunity, isn't it? Everyone buying into getting on those support lines. Everyone accelerates as soon as they have that little half break.
Set!
Horn gathering it at speed. Russell sizing up the options and waiting for the hole to appear, which it duly did. Horn again, live wire, freeing up Seymour. Woodburn with the tackle, but he's kept it alive, and or is back on halfway.
Not held.
Kanuka making decent ground. Lovely pick up from Russell. Show of the ball, and wide it goes to Horn. Inside Witten. Through the tackle of Cowan-Dickey. Gray. Batty for Harley.
No hands! Break away! Black players on the ball.
Russell again.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's found its way to Simmons. And White will drive Exeter back upfield, in behind Hogg. And you get the bounce. Hogg starting to go past Lockie Turner. Long time out of the game, keen to stretch those legs. Sato thrown to the ground. Gray. Nice bit of footwork from Johnny Gray. And driven on by Fagerson. Horn. White buying himself a little bit of extra ground. And Horn is underneath it again to Russell. He's off. He's gathering. Brilliant from Russell. Setting up an excellent field position once more. Johnny Gray.
Away!
The ball dislodged. It's gone forwards from Johnny Hill. Drop goal attempts from Finn Russell. Knowing that he had the penalty, he had the advantage. Shot to nothing. And Worcester Warriors. Too many Warriors in this world. Ben, all yours.
Well, over at the Altrad Stadium, Leinster are starting to cycle through the gears. They've leapfrogged the home side, Montpellier. First of all, with a try by Robbie Henshaw, and then if Montpellier can score a driving line out, so can the boys in blue. Sean Cronin stuck at the back, starts to edge towards the line, and eventually they get that acceleration, and the hooker dots over. Great response from Leinster. They're now 23-14 up at the Altrad.
not wide Barbarian style rugby we're seeing over there. Every
Well,
try.
Henshaw's try was okay. We had that clipped up and then they scored straight away afterwards.
So again, there's pool 3 as it stands. Leinster stretching away out in front. It looks very much as if they're producing the accuracy of execution that Exeter are struggling with here at Scotstoun. For all the power of their scrum, dug out by Horn very effectively. Russell running back against the grain. Here's Sato.
Stay there. Back.
Batty. Taken early and low by Cowan Dickey, but good recycling, swift recycling from Glasgow here.
Hands out!
They're going to give Exeter a dose of their own medicine, but the ball turned over.
There's a couple of times now that the referee's called hands off and not really meant it.
Stop!
Huge boot from Slade. Russell patrolling back there. Sato is there, and Slade's having none of that.
No, lost.
Black shirts swarming through to secure the ball. Horn. Oh, now this could be interesting. What a pass that was for Seymour. Woodburn on the chase. Dolman.
Again, just ratchets up that pressure, doesn't it? They might not come away with any points, but they're playing in the right areas of the pitch. In the first half, everything was down in Glasgow's 22.
Yep.
More even in this half.
Just the ambition and the intent. Wide ball for Peter Horn to Tommy Seymour. Great little dink through, but again, if you on the wider angle, there's all these black shirts are supporting in the inside because there's that desire, that intent is spread across the whole field. They know that they're going to go wide and then they're going to put book to ball.
Change at tight head for Exeter. Harry Williams is making way for Thomas Francis, Welsh international. Half an hour for him to make his impact felt, and a very important line out secured.
Through the gate, number 4. Let it go!
Some wonderful disruption work from Glasgow, and they've won possession just a couple of metres out from the try line. Exeter thought they'd done enough from that line out. Not so.
Rob Hart.
Yeah, Harley doing really well. He's a big presence in that area, isn't he? You see the long place over the top from Don Armand, and that just allows a gap between lifter and jumper.
No, it's a scrum. Turnover ball.
Coming off for Exeter Chiefs is number 6, Dave Ewers.
Harley employed in the second row today, as he has been for a good deal of the season, but a versatile man. Of course, when we've seen him in Scotland colours, Andy, he's been on the flank, hasn't he, more often than not?
Yeah, it's been needs must really for Glasgow. There's been a few injuries. Tim Swinson probably the key one in the second row. Greg Peterson's on the bench at the moment here, coming back, and you know, players like Tim Swinson, who brings a real sort of hard edge to him. He's a sort of 100%er every game, and so you know, Rob Harley does a great job. He's another one that gives us absolute all. Really proud man to play for Glasgow, his home city.
Changing the back row now as well for Exeter. Matt Kvesic is on in place of Dave Ewers. Kvesic very impressive off the bench last week. His fresh legs are going to be critical in the next 28 minutes or so.
Stay close, stay close.
More solidity to the Glasgow scrum this time. Options here. Quick ball. Fusaro. Held up by Woodburn. Horn sniping. Big numbers to the right. Couldn't work it.
God, it was so close. It was. There was numbers. They wanted it just a fraction quicker, and then it was in. To be fair, Exeter, they scramble back. Look at now, that ball comes just before then. It's a run-in. But the desperation in the pink defence was just enough to get across.
I didn't see, I wasn't in the right position.
He has to make that tackle. He has to come up with something.
Just to make sure it wasn't deliberate by 9 pink.
This is the call, is it? Was that the referee's just asked for the TMO? Just have a look, just to check the swinging arm in the tackle. Not for any dangerous play, but is that a natural movement of the arm in the tackle, or does he knock it down deliberately?
Just to make sure if it was deliberate or not.
Just to play bad numbers. Two guys free.
Yeah, he's going in for the tackle, so this will be a good angle for it here.
I didn't see it, but just looks like two guys.
I think that's all right. I know. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, but I don't think the TMO can say that's an unnatural tackle position.
It's a sufficiently grey area, isn't it? I mean, if you are going to, you have to wrap, so your arms have to start outstretched more often than not.
At the very least, it's a scrum to Glasgow, isn't it? Because it's
can we have a wide angle just to make sure there's no defender afterwards?
Well, he's going to give it.
Please, Simon.
And a yellow card.
This could be a huge decision.
Do you take into account the speed of the player that's outside? Because that's a hooker and a prop. Is that with a covering defence?
What's the ruling here? It's not looking promising from an Exeter perspective.
Well, all the Warriors players are walking back behind the
half made. He deliberate knock on the ball. No defender. That's a yellow card and a penalty try.
7 points for Glasgow. Exeter down to 14 men. Nick White into the bin. And their European challenge now hanging by a thread. Huge call.
Huge call, very marginal call. You know, we called it the other way. He definitely makes contact. That's not deliberate in my eyes. That's going into the tackle. It's probably a penalty for me because on that angle he has knocked it forward. But I'm not sure that is a deliberate, and it's certainly, I don't think, a penalty try.
And then there's the question of the hooker and the prop outside, which everybody's going to have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because Romain Poit has given both Grant Stewart and Siasua Halana Kanuka the benefit of the doubt. They would have run in the score. That was the probability. So an anxious 10 minutes for the Chiefs, and for Nick White in particular. But Ian Whitten has possession from the restart. And they're inside the 22. Alex Allen on the loose head for Jamie Batty now. Replacements being used by both Dave Rennie and Rob Baxter. Here's Cowan Dickey. Straight and hard and powerful, and Mitch Leeson behind him. And he's not been held, and Alex Allen is doing his best to stop him now. Simmons. Woodburn puts that away nicely. Johnny Hill. Exeter needing more bodies at the breakdown. They've just about done enough. Dolman shielding it. This is Francis. Witten. Steenson for Armand.
Goldman operating as the 9 at the moment. The Chiefs do turn the ball over. He's going to have to get back and cover.
And Glasgow's work rate, first class, yet again. Absolute nuisance at the breakdown, and this time it's Grant Stewart who's getting the pats on the back. They've made a phenomenal number of tackles. 129 tackles made in the 54 minutes from Dave Rennie's team.
No, man.
I mean, almost twice as many tackles, but meters made is almost identical. It just proves just how much when they've had the ball, they've done a lot with it, but they've had to soak up so much pressure at Glasgow. But the way that this game, it looks like they're getting stronger as the game's going on. And this 10 minutes, obviously, with the extra man, could be crucial to Exeter's progression in this Champions Cup.
Slick line-out routine. George Horn, Russell, Peter Horn. Inside the challenge of Slade, Witten and Steenson combined to bring him down. Hogg, Horn.
Just watching defensively, Dolman's now having to operate almost like a hybrid 9 and full back at the same time. He's trying to cover the chip kicks as a sweeper, but he's also having to drop back in case the long kicks come and be part of the pendulum with Ollie Woodburn.
Ian Witten's been penalised for a high tackle now. This is the what they call the seatbelt tackle. Look at the challenge from Witten. It kind of rode up and over, ended up round the neck, which is a problem. And Russell's going to put this into the corner. More chances for the Warriors. Remember, just playing really for pride this afternoon, but what pride they have. They've lost all 5 of their pool matches.
Just had a long huddle there. Referee getting a little bit annoyed with them. But they know, I think, this is the game. They score here, they will fancy themselves to close this game out. And they just need patience. They can't rush it.
Stewart's gone over the top. Here's Simmons in space, and now you're going to see the pace of Simmons. Support is forthcoming with Karen Dickey. Witten.
Backwards.
That pass didn't stick, but Steenson goes wide. Picked up by Dolman. Slade now. Woodburn. Pins his ears back. Shadowed by Russell. Did well to keep that alive, but the touchline is there, and Glasgow using it very effectively as an extra defender.
That's a great defence by Finn Russell, because Ollie Woodburn has been scoring tries for fun in that exact same situation. But Glasgow, this is Simmons off the line, another overthrow in the line out, which was very disappointing from Glasgow's perspective, but great scrambling defence. Eventually, when it went round, when you got here, when Slade puts him away, you think this is going to be a try, but Finn Russell used the touchline, he didn't overcommit, and a good defence, and then were able to snuffle him into the touch. Glasgow's still down to 40 men, by the way. Sarto is down injured with a bad shoulder.
So 14 against 14 currently, and George Horn using Adam Ash. There's Sarto being treated. And the Chiefs will be back in possession midway between the 22 and the 10-metre line.
Oh yeah, Sarto just wrapping that shoulder up, protecting it. He's definitely
11.
leaving the field.
Okay.
Here's
The
Hammond.
Glasgow Warriors off is number 11, Liam Sarto. He's replaced by number 23,
The elbow,
Lee
isn't it,
Joe.
underneath him? It gets caught, jars the shoulder.
He's another one that's just had a lot of injuries out pretty much the whole of last season. He's on when he's fully fit. I think he's a great player, and that doesn't look like that's a
significant setback, not just for Glasgow but for Italy too. Named in Conor O'Shea's Six Nations squad.
That's good height from the Chiefs now. They're in a good driving position. You can see the black shirts folding underneath. That should be a penalty.
The arm is outstretched. There's the blast on the whistle.
8.
Lee Jones, by the way, on in place of Leo Sato now on the
Hey,
wing
please
for
stay
Glasgow.
Eight.
Steenson wasting no time in sizing up the corner.
Could be a tale of two line-outs. Glasgow 2 minutes ago had a line-out on the Exeter Chiefs 5-yard line and overthrew. That could have gone to 21-7. Exeter now got a line-out attacking on the Glasgow 5-yard line. If it goes over, 14-all, game on, and there's still the destination of the Champions Cup progression is in their own hands.
Steenson just arguing with the referee's assistant there, saying, come on, that went more into the corner. He's come probably 7 metres off, 8 metres off.
Well, they tend to be a little stingy when the ball comes close to the 5-metre line, and Johnny Hill's done the first bit of work here for Exeter. This is looking promising. Black shirts swarming, looking to use that touchline. What defending that is. Wholehearted, committed, utterly resilient this afternoon, Glasgow.
Just great defence if you get away with it, but just look at the angle that these players join from. All coming in from the side, pushing towards the touchline. I'm not sure that's coming from the rearmost feet, but you get away with what you get away with.
This is a big line out for
And again, he's gone long, he's gone ambitious. It's Hugh Jones who takes it in. Grant Stewart certainly rolling the dice a little bit. Hogg with the delay on the pass for Seymour, and now the breakout. Russell for Hogg. Woodburn has his number. The inside pass is a good one. Horn, one-on-one with Turner. What a score! Seymour finishes it, and he might just have finished Exeter's European campaign. Absolutely brilliant from Glasgow.
Well, that could well be try of this championship, but look at it from the whole line. They've gone coast to coast. Look at the support line. Tommy Seymour to Finn Russell to Stuart Hogg. Look at the black shirts working there. George Horn, you thought he was going to put him inside and out, but no, there's Tommy Seymour back in with a second effort. What an outstanding try by Glasgow Warriors.
Oh, just brilliant. The support play, again, that excitement. What was really good about the support play was how some of those players just checked their line, changed the angle of the line so they didn't overrun the pass and make it a forward pass back on the inside. Constantly changing angles for the defenders as well, making it almost impossible. And it is that time where you're comfortable, you're on the opposition's line, and suddenly Glasgow sees the initiative, and before you can react, you're under your own posts.
2 more points from Finn Russell. The scoreline now a bleak one from the Chiefs' perspective. 21 points to 7 heading into the final quarter, and the returning men making such a difference today. Lethal backline, isn't it? Russell to Hogg, Horn there in support, and then Seymour, who's been out with a toe problem for the last month, finishing it off.
But also the acceleration of Hogg when he got the opportunity to. If he doesn't accelerate like that, if he just stays in that coasting top gear, trying to feed the pass, none of the defenders bite hard on him.
And he's off again, and he's linking again with Seymour and Horn, and here is George Horn, and the inside ball for Fagerson. Glasgow ripping through the gears, tearing up the Chiefs' challenge. Utterly inspired.
You just got to admire the collective intent that Glasgow Warriors tried to bring to this game of rugby. Stuart Hogg at the heart of it, but everyone is bought in to playing the game as it should be. Look at it, Stuart Hogg, he's just asking the defence to come on to him to create space. Again, look at the inside line. George Horn has done it all day, but Matt Fagerson, he comes in support and then he puts the power on. It's another outstanding try by Glasgow Warriors. A joy to watch.
Again, that hitch kick from Hogg, he's changing into different defenders' channels there, and that confuses Exeter. People start marking the wrong man, leaving holes back on the inside. And then Fagerson, right at the end, made the right decision. He was looking about who he could offload to. In the end, he realised all the momentum was going against Exeter, and he could use his power just to straighten up and go between the two defenders.
Well, a couple of minutes which have ripped the heart out of Exeter's hopes. A bonus point in the bag for the Glasgow Warriors. And Ali Heaper's expression will tell you everything you need to know. It's all about the Premiership from here on in for Exeter. There is no hope now.
Well, it's the 10 minutes from Nick White's yellow card and penalty try. 2 devastating tries. Suddenly that's it. Game over, Red Rover.
The spring and the step of the Warriors.
And they're replaced by 16 Elvis Tyone.
Now playing with real verve and zip and control too.
And number 17, Murray Lowe.
And that kind of thing happens when the game is running for you, and it is running red hot for Finn Russell and Glasgow right now.
Do you have water? No.
Look at the bounce of the ball. I mean, Steenson just can't believe it.
Oh, sorry.
There's obviously many happy people in the stadium watching this, but I don't know if he's in the stadium. I've not seen him. But Gregor Townsend will be absolutely delighted by how that man's playing, but more importantly, how Stuart Hogg has come back from injury and he's looked absolutely electric. He did it in the autumn test. He came and played 1 game before Samoa, and then he lit up the autumn test before his injury against Australia. But he's now fully fit again, and Gregor Townsend, as the Scotland coach, will be very happy.
What rearguard action do the Chiefs have in them from here?
Worryingly for Eddie Jones. Henry Slade's just left the field, holding his left shoulder very gingerly. Struggled to put the coat on that he was offered.
That is a concern. Steenson sending it wide. And a chase on here for Lockie Turner. He's got the ball. Knocked away by Dolman. Chiefs with 15 men back on the field, by the way, now, with White restored and Woodburn over the 10-metre line. Chudley, I should say, is on at 9 with Nick White's yellow card having been sorted. Nice step, brilliant step from Simmons. What a break! Oh. Surely. Well, he's beaten himself there. Tackled himself. Try line straight in front of him and begging. Chudley. Woodburn. New man everywhere. Toby Salmon driving forwards to within 4 metres. Chudley again for Johnny Hill. Still, Glasgow hurl their bodies in the direction of those pink shirts. Messick waiting over it. Armands through. Got one back.
It's a contrast in styles, but it's still effective, and it gives the same number of points in a try. But that is Exeter Chiefs for you. Have they got a glimmer of hope in the last 14 minutes?
It's a really sensible option. It's a call from Armand. Everyone's expecting Kvesic to pick and go himself. And Armand has spotted he's got a little bit of space that he can take that outside arced line and just get in between 2 defenders enough to bury his head over the line. Good finish.
A rich try-scoring form, Don Armand. 9 tries for the season, 4 in the Champions Cup.
It could have been scored a lot earlier. Brilliant break from Simmons. Quite a few of the players have been tripping over, but you know it's not your day when you trip over having made a break to leave everyone standing, and then you can't finish it off.
14 minutes left to play. A 14-point difference on the scoreboard. Glasgow coming again. Stuart Hogg, who's really enjoyed his return to action today. Very encouraging from a Scotland perspective. Wales first up in the Six Nations.
Back.
Alex Allen. Horn, caught by Armand. He's been bright today.
He has, and I'll tell you something, that Ali Price has not come on. That's how well he's played. He's been electric. His inside support has been fantastic.
Another big effort from Fagerson. Harley is dumped. Armand again with the tackle. That engine just doesn't stop. Johnny Gray. Ball dislodged. Hill.
Stay there, Brack.
Steenson. Dolman. Chudley. Salmon.
Advantage over!
Kvesic. Half through. Chudley running the support line. Great work from Chudley. Can he repeat the trick? That try he scored against Northampton. It's not going to fall for him this time.
Did really well, Chudley, though, didn't he? Allowing his opposite number to get back to his feet without giving away the penalty there. Desperate to get the ball back, but...
Use it!
Taken on by Darcy Ray, nearly off the bench, and himself named in the Six Nations squad under Gregor Townsend. Russell, those little dinks and chips are lethal. It's worked out beautifully for Horn. Kvesic, great work at the breakdown. Assisting with the tackle and then getting in over the ball. Steenson, just out of the fingertips. It's there for Dolman. It's now with Simmons, and Exeter haven't given up. They are still crashing forwards, and Witten this time will not be denied. Is there a twist in this tale? There just might be.
Absolutely. You can see the opportunity. This is one of these passes. One way at 7 points for one side, but a couple of inches the other way, and it ends up in 7 for the Chiefs. Really good delay from Simmons, but it still takes some scoring. The cut back inside, and then the realisation that he's going to have to go to the power and drive his way over the line. Brilliant leg drive, great determination, and our Exeter edging themselves back into this.
Well, they absolutely are.
A very, very significant score. This kick has become rather important as well to make it a 7-point differential. Looks good, looks very, very good from Steenson. Back within a converted try with 10 minutes to play.
Well, I mean, we called it a 28-7, we said it was game over. But all they need now is one try and one other score, and they've got themselves probably into the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup.
Absolutely, one try away from a bonus point, regardless of whether they win or not. And as you said, if they can hold the Warriors out, get that extra point themselves. What a great game.
Well, we've been applauding the Glasgow resilience for the bulk of the afternoon because their defensive work has been immense. But what a comeback this would prove to be. As it stands, Pool 3 with Leinster tear-away winners. Change at 9 for Glasgow. Ali Price on for George Horn.
Well played, George Horn. Outstanding support. Creating 2 tries.
What a dummy from Alex Allen.
Back, pink.
Price. For Grant Stewart. Glasgow could do with a bit of possession here just to draw the sting from the Chiefs. Horn.
Option.
Flattened by Simmons, and the ball has gone forwards and into touch.
Scrum or Arnold? Scrum.
Simmons' pace is so good in defence at times as well, because I thought Pete Horn was getting away. And he just managed to have the pace as a back row to close the space down and exert the pressure.
Well, it's all too much for Alex Allen. This was special, though.
Just any prop, you just don't throw a dummy, because what's going to happen? You're going to pull a hamstring.
He's accelerated away and torn his calf. I hope it's not that serious, but what a dummy. Maybe he's just buying us enough time to get the replays in.
Okay.
Here's the top 8 in the Champions Cup as it stands. Exeter in 8th, but obviously unable to qualify with 15 points.
Easy and stable,
as it is at the moment.
Guys, but easy and stable.
Claremont,
New guys, easy and stable. We keep going like the
3
first
others behind Leinster in the top 4.
Long time ago we didn't have a scrum, but it's not an excuse, okay?
What 8 and a bit minutes we've got here, because we say Exeter need a try and another score to win the game and get the bonus point win. But that means that Glasgow has shown they can run the length twice to score tries. So this game is definitely not over. What a prospect we've got.
Bind.
Exeter can get out of here and get another shot in the Glasgow half. Be interesting to see whether they go for that extra score early with a drop goal or a penalty
17.
rather than going to the corner if they get one. You can always score a try from your own line in
17.
the last play of the game. You can't always score a penalty.
It's got last-minute kick written all over it, this one, hasn't it? Oh, good ground gained in the first instance for Exeter, up to halfway.
Here you are. Keep your arm straight, please.
Still in there fighting.
Number 8.
Just
8
one
black.
quarter-final in Europe to their name so far.
Johnny,
of
stay
course,
where you
from
are, open it.
2016, by they lost out by a point to Wasps. And this very much the next frontier for Exeter, having reached the top of the mountain in the Premiership. Adam Ash making way for Greg Peterson.
We've got the second row. Rob Harley will come in the back row for Glasgow.
A bit more size on the pitch to stop that pick-and-go game of the Chiefs.
Simmons to his brother. Pizarro bundled off the ball. Steenson, Witten. Nice handling for Woodburn. At the back for Lockie Turner. That's gone forwards from Woodburn. Glasgow will have a crack from here, you can be fairly sure. Pizarro.
Advantage over.
Price. Did well. Hogg. Possession, everything at this point, even 7 minutes out. Price. Blocked by Chudley. Steenson attacking the line, and he knows he's got numbers to his left. Here's Woodburn straightening up.
Well played for Saro.
Straight in over the ball as well. Woodburn has done a decent job there. Here's Salmon.
Off your feet, four!
Steenson. Witten. Simmons. Taking on the defenders. Here's Witten. Chiefs desperate for the clean clear out, but Glasgow have done enough again.
Ali Price, impact off the bench. George Horde has been outstanding, but look, Ali Price, defensively, you're getting over the ball, you make yourself very difficult to be dislodged. You could argue his hands are over it, really, but in a good position. And that just buys some more time, and lack of time for
Simon, John, just to check with you.
And Ali Heifer
more than 5 minutes.
They know it. The longer it goes without Exeter getting at least one of their two scores, the least chance they've got of qualifying.
I think the highlight
Let's go, Brock, let's go.
coaching partnership we've just seen will have been Sam Simmons and the effect he's had on the game in the last 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes. He's carrying, he's found a little bit more space, able to get that explosive handoff going, bursting through challenges, but they have to be able to recycle the ball if they're going to be able to turn this deficit around.
Secured by Greg Peterson, the American international.
Away, 5, away.
Murray Lowe's told to get out of it.
18 away now, 18 away.
50 appearances for the Warriors.
Away.
Making progress here, Glasgow, and they won't mind how slow it is, and now they've got the advantage from Romain Poit. Price for Russell. Now then.
Well, we've got a break in play. Opportunity for Warriors to kick for the corner.
Let's go.
The game at the Altrad is over.
Okay,
Leinster have won the game without a bonus points, but they will still qualify as the first-ranked team and get top seeding for the quarterfinals on 27 points.
You have to say, to go unbeaten in this group, with Montpellier, with Exeter, English champions, Glasgow, that's an outstanding achievement by Leinster.
There will be a trip to Dublin in the quarters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming along this afternoon. Remember, we are here tomorrow at Scotland for the
So time being taken over
as they take on Spain.
over this decision. I mean, it is just possible that they haven't done this throughout the afternoon, but Finn Russell could just have a crack at the post now.
I think he
try to
should.
bury
I
Exeter.
100% think he should. Because if he gets it, it's basically 2 tries, isn't it? They're not going to hang around and try and get 2 penalties, 2 scores.
Shot.
Yeah, posts is the decision.
You just want to make sure your kick chase is good as well, though, because it's not guaranteed to make the full distance.
And it's Stuart Hogg that's taken it, not Finn Russell, because distance-wise, I mean, Hoggy will put this over the stand. He's got the length for that. Right call, win the game. Glasgow don't have to, they're not entering into any, you know, what Exeter need to do. It's about winning the game, restoring some pride, which they have. The performance today has been outstanding at times, both in attack and defence. So I think they justify to win this game, but Exeter have dug really deep and really challenged them.
A huge boot denied by the posts, and then it's knocked on by Horn, and Woodburn keeps it alive through Simmons. Chiefs in last chance saloon, but look at the speed again of Simmons, and pitch is proving a problem for the Simmons brothers. Whitten, though, has ball in hand. Turner for Hill, running into those black shirts. Still alive by the skin of their teeth, Exeter. Can they snatch a win at the death? A bonus point win that could give them a quarter-final place. 2.5 minutes to get it done. Salmon forwards. Every error now can just magnified.
Absolutely. The ref's coming over to the touchline for some reason.
I think it's Mike.
Just the connection.
Yeah, communications issue.
You know, this game has had everything. I wouldn't have been surprised if Exeter, when Stuart Hogg hit the post there, Exeter run the length. This boy's been outstanding. The pace is unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing to think that just a couple of seasons ago, Sam Simmons was plying his trade in the Championship with the Cornish Pirates. Now he scored 10 tries across the season. He's in pole position for that number 8 shirt for the Six Nations with England.
And Ali, what that just sums up Exeter's performance today: in good position and just a mistake. An unforced error that had too many in the first half. All the possession, all the territory in the first half. They should have had more than 1 try in that first half. And then there again, an opportunity right in behind Glasgow to exert that pressure. They will be disappointed in their own performance, but they've brought it back in when you thought the game was done, so fair play to them.
No need for
My mind is drawn back to that disallowed try with Ian Whitten being held up by Hugh Jones over the line. Centimetre here, centimetre there. Ifs and buts. Minute and a half to go. Big surge from Exeter, whipped away quickly though by Price for Horn. This might be the last bit of possession that Exeter see. And that's forwards from Woodburn. A fingertip touch, which might mean that final chance has now gone. Time for your man of the match, Ben.
Well, it's quite a tough one, actually. I think Hogg has been brilliant from fullback. I think on the Exeter side, Simmons has dragged them back into this game. But for me, for the hard work he's done, the big carries that he's made in traffic, and some of the tackling display, Heineken, man of the match, goes to Matt Ferguson.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. It's too easy to sort of give it to the guys, the superstars, where you see them running the length and scoring the tries, but Matt Ferguson got one himself with that support line, but he has been everywhere. His work rate has been phenomenal. Said earlier, he's got a big future. And being man of the match in this company will just be hopefully a good springboard for him to go forward.
Yeah, in his first European, his second European start. Started last week, but at just 19, as you rightly say, keeping illustrious company.
Fine. Set. Let go. No, don't push him.
Ferguson robbed of the ball that went forwards, and there is still time, although we are into the red here.
Okay.
Joe Simmons.
Advantage over!
Accuracy, everything here from Exeter, and we're not getting it from Thomas Francis, just as we didn't get it a moment or two ago from Ollie Woodburn, and those little errors have cost them dear. A win for Glasgow, which restores a great deal of respect after the campaign that they have suffered, and Exeter's European dreams in tatters. Huge defence and some dazzling tries, some truly dazzling tries.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It had everything with Glasgow. It had unbelievable defence in the first half when they're under pressure, but then the tries they scored, both the first at the very start of the game and the two when they went length of the field, it was outstanding, brilliant play from Glasgow.
Full time at Scotstoun. Glasgow 28, Exeter 21. The Warriors with a bonus point win. Chiefs done. Babes.
Excellent work.